If you notice that I'm still wearing the same pajamas from last video, that's because I'm filming this pretty much at the same time. I got up and made some coffee, and then I had another idea, so I just came and sat right back down. So, the older I get, the more I resonate with the concept of getting my own house in order before I worry about other people's. I think a huge function of the internet is being comfortable being all up in everyone else's business 24/7. Seeing what's in someone's bag, seeing their house tour, seeing what products and techniques they use for their makeup, watching someone cook or even watching them eat. Closet cleanouts, study with me's, weight loss check ins, debt payoff journeys, labor and delivery vlogs, proposals, breakups. It's all available for millions of strangers to see. And all of that visibility, paired with the comment section and semi anonymity of being behind a screen, comes with the boldness of being able to say whatever you want to people you don't even know and make whatever condemning statements you want. Things you'd never say to a total stranger, assuming you were raised with even a semblance of home training. You can tell them how messy their house is, how unattractive you find them, how bad you think their style is, how you disagree with their parenting style, or changes you'd make to the food they cooked. Just constantly inserting yourself into other people's lives. This is no longer seen as unusual thanks to the internet. Before, the closest we could get to this was gossiping at a hair salon or letting paparazzi and magazine editors do the dirty work of snooping through celebrity lives and handing us their findings. Somehow, we've become completely and utterly accustomed to leaning against the fence and forcing our neighbors to hear what we have to say. And I don't think this is inherently wrong per se. It's just very strange and completely overrides centuries of communication constraints that have always been in place. What I do think is wrong, however, is the need some people have to constantly criticize other people's homes before they have gotten theirs in order. And when I say homes, I don't mean your like physical residence, although you really should get your actual home in order too. I mean your life, your person, your own happenings. This is something that has always been a thing, right? Even Jesus had to remind people to shut up and worry about themselves. It's not new, but because of the internet, it's much more visible now, and there's more houses for people to look at and criticize than ever before while they ignore their own shortcomings. Why has this resonated with me? I think partly it's just a certain aspect of maturity I've gained as I have become more firmly settled in my 20s. I'm very interested in self development, and with that comes a need for self reflection. You can't get very far on these journeys if you can't stop and analyze yourself and be real about what you lack and what needs to improve. Because I'm so keenly aware of the many things about myself that are less than stellar, I spend so much of my time trying to correct those things so I can improve year by year. I'm going to make a video about this soon, but something I've come to realize is that the smarter I get, the more I realize just how little I know. I am extremely aware of how imperfect I am, and I love that because it's showing an awareness for how small I actually am in the grand scheme of things and just how vast and complicated the world is, and how I will never have enough time available in my life to learn all the things or do all the things. Like when you first learn how to do math, you feel so smart, but then you find out about calculus and you can see just how much you lack after all. So when I see people constantly, day in and day out, making call out posts and videos condemning the actions or inactions of others, always putting themselves and their own methods on a pedestal, it immediately lets me know that they are seriously lacking some major self reflections. How many times have we seen people who claim to be these angels of certain ideals or movements end up having their own dirt dug up, and it turns out they have just as much of a dirty past as the people they so happily throw under the bus? You can look at tweets from a few years ago and see all kinds of slurs and distasteful posts, even though they herald themselves as some sort of savior and educator now. It's ridiculous. The reality is that none of us are really fit to be the judge of the majority of people or scenarios we come across. And I know this is a main theme of Christianity about judgment and things like that, but I'm not even speaking on it in a Christian way. Just in an obvious way, most things that we shake our heads at are things we've also done before. And for many things that we shake our heads at, but maybe haven't done that specific thing, we have so many other things that can be considered worse if it were put on blast. So, on my digital minimalism journey, which has ebbed and flowed over the years, always being modified to fit my current needs, I got to a point where celebrity gossip stopped being useful to me. Keeping up with the lives of strangers and influencers has stopped being useful to me. And because of that, I definitely come across less houses to criticize. And instead, I have more time to get my own in order. I like to believe that I've used this time for good. And by that, I mean that some people work tirelessly on getting their house in order for the sole purpose of being able to proudly critique others, grinning at the fact that they technically aren't being hypocrites. I haven't done that. I think I've used it for good in the sense that it helped to make me more empathetic to others, whereas before I would have been more reactionary. Now I'm more willing to give grace and mind my own business, knowing that what they've got going on has nothing to do with me, so throwing my opinions their way just isn't needed. Working on this has been a game changer for me because not only do I get the benefits of having my house in order, I know that I'm not being too negative, too nosy, too overinvested in the happenings of strangers. I don't care to hate watch or keep tabs on people I claim to not like. I don't feel the need to pretend that I'm some perfect deity who has never made a mistake before. And I can give more grace to the simple mistakes of others. It's like the Michael Jackson song, Man in the Mirror, where he goes, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. It's words to live by, honestly. Like, if everyone's too busy pointing at each other like the Spider Man meme, and no one is taking accountability for the things they've done, how are we ever supposed to get anywhere? You literally can't make progress getting yourself together if you spend all day worrying about what other people are doing, being so ready to call out every little thing like you're the hall monitor. Work on your own house. And if you feel like you have nothing to work on, then that means you really have a lot to work on. Bye.